My girlfriend's shocking revelations about her past. Hi there, welcome to Reddit Goat channel. Today we are going to have another unbelievable cheating story. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our daily cheating stories. There's a lot to unpack here, but I'll do the best I can to keep it short. My ex and I have been living together for as long as we have been together for the past almost 4 years, and we had gotten into a really huge fight last year that resulted in her leaving for 2 weeks. Despite her not being home after a week of talking everything out, we agreed we still wanted to make things work, and the following week that she came back home, everything was fine for the most part. When she came back home, we talked a lot and I asked her if she had done anything while she had been gone, so there were no secrets. She told me no during the multiple times I've asked her. Fast forward 3 months later, she confessed to me that she let this chick she used to fool around with years before we dated go down on her, but nothing else happened besides that. Of course, this hurt me deeply because she's the third person I've been with that has cheated on me or betrayed me. But despite the cheating and the lying, I stayed in hopes of things being better and that I was being told the full truth. Fast forward to recently, we went on vacation and I found out that she lied about not doing anything besides letting this girl go down on her. Apparently she was depressed during this break and had been invited to a swingers party with her best friend. When I initially asked her if she had done anything, she did disclose that she went to this party and her best friend tried to push a guy up on her, but nothing happened. However, I am now finding out that she had sex with this guy and isn't even certain that he used a condom, but expressed that she didn't tell me because she didn't remember. I'm so confused and at a loss that I feel numb. Not only was this someone I expected to marry and saw a future with, but according to her she's a lesbian and has been since college, but this whole situation just mind boggles me. Besides that, both instances happened within the 2 weeks we weren't with each other but still working on our relationship. She says that she's talking to her therapist to find out what pushed her to do something like that with a guy, especially if she claims to be a lesbian and never had any genuine sexual desire with men, but I don't feel like it will ever make sense. And it fucks me up even more because she isn't even completely sure this random guy used a condom. She says she was too drunk to remember details, but the 4 years we've been together she has never been that drunk to the point where she couldn't remember, and she also told me she had expressed to her best friend that wanted to stop drinking anyway but go so drunk to the point she didn't remember she had sex with a guy, and I didn't find out until a year later. She keeps telling me she loves me and she was scared of losing me, but I don't believe anything anymore. I lost so much trying to keep this relationship to see a lifetime of commitment, and it was never worth it. I was also the third person to find out this information, and it's been a month or two according to her that this so-called memory has resurfaced, and despite knowing this information she was still trying to plan out a wedding and discussing having children with me. We were even planning on becoming foster parents within the next year. I feel like a pathetic fool for still loving this lady, knowing there is people out there who would never do these things to me and reciprocate everything I have to offer, but a part of me feels like I'll never have that, and by the time I come across the love I've been searching for it'll be too late. Part of me can't help but feel like God is punishing me for being gay because this is the third relationship this has happened. My last 2 relationships also claimed they were gay but ended up cheating on me with a guy and currently are in happy 2+ year relationships with their boyfriend. I feel so traumatized and feel like love is a myth in my life. Everyone I love the most has betrayed me and left me to deal with it alone, every relationship I ever had, my parents, friends. Nothing seems worth it anymore. Here are some of the best comments from our community. First thing you need to do is quit blaming yourself. Your SDBX has a lot of toxic behavior. She is still truthing how much happened. She is choosing to lie to you. You don't own other people's poor behavior. God is not punishing you. You may have issues with your partner, pick her to choose poor partners. That's about the only mistake you should own. You know, I have had a permanent spinal injury and been in a wheelchair for 5 years. I wonder if God is punishing me for being straight. Nah, I don't think so. I think we are okay in that regard. I am sorry you have been cheated on multiple times. As you recover enough to love again, the next one betrays you, and each one hurts worse. There are good people out there, and your mission is to find one of them. I wish you the best of luck finding that person you deserve and can have faith in again. One question: how are you finding out more information about what actually happened? If it's from her, leave this relationship ASAP and go full no contact and avoid this girl like the plague. You don't deserve to be mind-fucked like this, as she'll continue to trickle feed you if, buts, and maybe as long as she can. Seek therapy if you can afford it. Here's the second story. My wife and I have recently been having trouble with our marriage of 12 years. I think she felt I have not been there for her emotionally since the death of my brother 8 years ago. However, I have always been faithful and there for her and my kids. Recently I have really noticed something off with her behavior. She was really protective with her phone and would always hide it when she received a message and leave it face down. We had already been talking about issues recently and I confronted her on her behavior. She said that she couldn't believe I would ask her something like that and how could I not trust her. She also brought up something to the fact that because of my behavior she was not sure she would ever actually be able to tell me if she was doing anything or even if she were to have an affair. When I had the opportunity a day later I snooped. I have never done anything like this before and I am not justifying my behavior, but I knew something was up. She had been messaging a coworker for quite a while. I found almost a month's worth of text messages where things turned sexual in nature. They had been talking about things that they were going to do together and to each other. Even sending each other pictures of themselves half naked. That night I immediately confronted her on the issue. I asked her to please just tell me who she had been messaging. She denied it. I told her I know. She said no what? I said I know everything. She still denies it. I begged her to tell me. She says she had been messaging her coworker. He was suicidal and needed a friend. I said to her and? She came back with and what? I told her I know there is more and I want you to tell me now. Finally it came out and I told her how I found out. It wasn't pretty. I said I apologized for my actions, but I do not regret what I did. I knew something was up with her behavior and I couldn't let it go. By everything we talked about nothing physical had happened and she actually has not met this coworker in person. I believe her. Now we are at the point where we are saying we are separated and are going to try to work on things. But it never came up that she would stop talking to this person. It is difficult as they work together and I am not sure it is possible for her to not talk with him in her job. What do I do here? Do I ask her to stop messaging this person? What if she says no? Should this be a deal breaker? I really appreciate all the support. I suppose I should add some things because maybe you think I am too good a guy in this case. I developed pretty terrible anxiety after my brother's death and I think she might be overburdened with dealing with it. I use her as my only support system, which probably is not healthy for either of us. In addition, when the problems first started, before I found out about the EA but not before the EA started, I brought up the fact that I had stopped drinking alcohol for 2.5 months. She questioned why and I made up a story about hiding drinking from her. When I did it I was just trying to get a response and hoping it maybe gave us grounds to talk. To clarify, I do not have a drinking issue and I have not had a drink in 2.5 months. I brought this all to her attention as well and it was not pretty. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.